Okay, it looks like we are live. There we go. There's all of the connections made. Oh my goodness. Is it still raining outside? It was so rainy yesterday. No, I haven't even looked outside to see.
Yesterday was really raining. That's for dang sure. My husband being a UPS driver, believe me, it would stop and it'd start and it'd stop. So there you go. Crazy yesterday.
Okay. Well, we are now live. It is, what day is this? Oh my gosh, it is Wednesday, the 24th of November. We are
25th.
coming to the end.
25th of November.
Oh my goodness. I'm still living in yesterday. It is.
Yes.
It's the 25th of November. Oh my gosh, it's the 25th of November. The year of 2020 is almost over. November is almost over. And tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Now, there's a lot to celebrate right there. Hello, welcome. We're so glad you joined us. I am Terry Ann Porter, life coach, TA. I help people to gain the confidence to defeat the lies of negative self-talk by looking with a new perspective to see those possibilities that were hidden to you, which opens up pathways onto which you can proceed. And my co-host today is?
Good morning. I am Sherry Berger, and I am the owner of Here to There Consulting. And we educate business owners with the tools to balance work, life, and finances. To keep all that in balance, I know that's a lot, right? And then we help people with growth, the leadership, and their success in their business and their life. Because my mission in life is for you to have the life that you deserve. So anyway, welcome and happy Thanksgiving. This year, we never ever celebrate this, Terry Ann, but tomorrow, except for my kids made me go back and look what day Thanksgiving was 29 years ago. 29 years ago, Thanksgiving was on the 28th. But on Thanksgiving Day, 29 years ago, I became engaged to the love of my life. Just thought I'd let you know.
Oh, wonderful.
Funny, and I thought about it this year. I was like, Kevin, what happened on Thanksgiving 29 years ago? He sat for a minute, but he came right back and he knew.
He remembered, huh? All right. I can tell you Thanksgiving 40 years ago was the 27th. And I gave birth to my second daughter that morning.
You gave birth to your daughter that morning?
Yes. She was my Thanksgiving baby.
Is she your oldest?
No, that's the youngest. So we will be celebrating her 40th this week.
Wow, that's funny. So you have something to celebrate too.
I do.
Maybe we need to put how we need to let people know. So right now we have a Facebook user, which is Rachel, and welcome, Rachel. But yeah.
We are using a software called StreamYard, which is allowing us to broadcast to Facebook. Now, Facebook does not allow StreamYard to show your name if you make a post in the comments unless you give them permission. So strolling across the bottom, you'll find the instructions. If you would open up a new tab, don't close us down. We don't want you to leave. Go to a new tab. Go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and grant permission. Your name will then appear on our comment stream should you choose to join in the conversation, which we really want you to do. If you don't, it will just say to us, it will just simply say anonymous Facebook user. So if you would consider that, go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and join in today's Thanksgiving conversation. And of course, we have things to be thankful for from the past. This has been a hard year. I don't know if you all noticed, this has been a very, very difficult and challenging year. Sherry, what is something that you are thankful for, despite everything that's going on, all the challenges? What are you thankful for this year?
I have a lot to be thankful for, but I do realize I'm not only going through 2020 this year, but I am an empty nester for the first time. And I'm married to Mr. UPS driver. which means in a pandemic, they work a lot of hours in peak season. I mean, it supposedly began now, but everybody's been ordering online. So I'm home a lot by myself through the pandemic. But then I realized I'm not. Well, first of all, God's always there, right? Right. I have Jesus and coffee right here. So, and I'm thankful for Zoom, but more importantly, and I could pick them up and show you, I have 3 office dogs. 3.
Three?
Yes. I have Max, and he's a snoodle, schnauzer poodle. I have Ginger. They're all rescues. Ginger is a Shih Tzu. My father says I got 2 Shih Tzus, so I could use that word. But anyway, I have 2 Shih Tzus, and they're old, and their human mom died, and their human dad went in a nursing home. So we got them. It will be 2 years in January, and they're older. They're 12 and 10. So we have Max, Ginger, and Ollie, and Ollie's really Olivia. So the girls are the Shih Tzus, and then I have Max, who's the boy, and then I have Joy, the cat. Yes. And actually, that's a lot to be thankful for. And I know you've had conversations with me and go, well, you're home all by yourself. Yeah, well, I do have 4 kids, but they're all animals. I have 4 biological children that are for real. And then I got my 4 animal kids. So that's a lot to be thankful for, and really thankful for Zoom, because it's been a great way to communicate. And good morning, Kathy Weaver is on. Good morning. Good morning. We are talking about what you are thankful for. So if anybody would like to comment below what they are thankful for, that would be great, because that's what we're talking about with this last year. But Terry Ann and I started with, 29 years ago on Thanksgiving Day, except for that was now the 28th. My kids told me 20, right? I became engaged to the love of my life, who now I've been married to for 26. I've been dating him for 30. My kids tell me he can't be my boyfriend and husband, but you know what? If you ask Kevin, he goes with it. And
it's perspective.
And then Terry Ann, you said that you had your baby girl almost 40 years ago, right?
40 years ago on Thanksgiving Day. And you know what I found out? On Thanksgiving Day, at least then, hospitals did not serve Thanksgiving dinner. No, I had a rubbery old hamburger for lunch that day.
Oh,
while my family was sitting down to turkey. But that's okay. I got to hold my baby girl. That was all that mattered to me.
And there's things on, yeah. And my husband is not good with surprises. So I thought he was going to ask me to get married on Christmas. And I think that was his plan. But the problem was he bought the ring that week. And I sort of already knew this. And he can't wait. It's too funny. Is that funny? He is not good with surprises. So there you go.
Oh, gosh. So much to be thankful for this year. Just the fact that we're coming to the end of the year. Back in March, a lot of people thought, couldn't even imagine the end of the year. Well, hey, we've made it. We're down to the last, what is it now? 30, maybe 42 days?
5 weeks, because,
5 weeks of the year.
But that's if we don't take Thanksgiving, right? I mean, we're getting really towards the end, because now what today is, we have 1, 2, 3. Well, actually there's 6. And I think I tried to take a week out because of Thanksgiving. And so, yeah, it's crazy. I don't know about you. Did the year go fast or slow?
For myself, I think the year went rather fast, because I'm looking back and thinking, oh my gosh, March, all of this started, it just seemed like yesterday. On one hand, it seems like forever, because, it's hard to remember before that at this point. But at the same time, it seems like, well, that was just only yesterday. But I do hear that the older you get, the faster the days appear to go. So that may have a lot to do with that. I used this year to do a lot of personal reflection and personal growth. And I found a lot of people have done that as well, where they use the opportunity to get into online learning, take some time to sit down and do some reading that they hadn't done before. I know some people kind of shut down, but a lot of people I know use the opportunity for some self-growth. And so I'm very thankful for that. What it's allowed, how I've taken this opportunity to just expand. I stepped in and became a Zoom expert. Well, I call myself a Zoom expert. The people I work with call me a Zoom expert. There's still a lot I don't know, but I tell you what, I learned so much just jumping in on Zoom.
Well, and I love, if you're not following Terry Ann, she has a whole, she did it for Toastmasters International because we both belong to Toastmasters, but it applies to any small business or anybody. Remember, you did all that training on how to use it. And man, people have really, really benefited from, using your training. And so it's looking outside the box. I know this sounds really, really crazy. I'm very much an extrovert, anybody that knows me, but I know I've gotten to know other people out in the community, either that I've known of, but I didn't know, because I went to networking groups that I haven't been to before. Zoom.
Yes.
Because it's pretty easy. I mean, it is in a way, just to click and go to Zoom. But I will be honest, sometimes technology didn't let me get in certain groups. So I was like, okay, well, God, technology just doesn't want me to be there today. But because you got to get the password right, you had to get the links right, you had to write. And if any of that changed, or if you were in multiple groups and some reason, I don't know. And then sometimes Zoom doesn't, well, even StreamYard, right, doesn't always work the way that we expect it to. But yeah, right. Ernest is out here, and I think he said that he went ahead and clicked.
Oh, yes, just clicking the link that I put in the comments will take you to that place.
Yeah,
so you don't even have to type it in.
He said he's really glad because it did work, and he's thinking about using StreamYard. And I know other people have used StreamYard, so we were debating what we wanted to use, and we think StreamYard is good, but you do have to tell people, when you're on. So,
and like any other program, there is a learning curve. Now, one reason we chose StreamYard was it allowed us, Ernest, just for your information, it allows us the opportunity not only for both of us to be on here, and we could bring on guests, we can do the banner that you see going across the bottom, but it allows us to multi-stream to our personal pages and to our conversations page. That was the final, I think, selling point as far as what we chose for us. So we were thankful to find it.
There you go with the technology geek over there, Terry Ann, geeking out. She's like, I think our first one was at Zoom.
Our first one, yeah, I remember what we tried. I think we did our first one when we experimented and just wanted to get to know each other a little more in this format. I think we did go through Zoom. So there's a lot to do with that. Technology, I tell you what, it has been, imagine this situation 10 years ago when not everyone had home computers. Not everyone had, well, I know not everybody does now still, but the high-speed internet that we have now. Imagine in the 80s when I got started, we had dial-up. Imagine doing this with dial-up. So there's a lot to be thankful for. Yes, this has been hard, but technology has certainly made it easier to get through. And a situation like this, which has been something a lot of people have been grateful for.
Well, and I've heard, I don't know exactly how it's working, but I've heard that Zoom for the 3 days for the holidays are going to not limit that 40 minutes for your free version.
Yes.
Like I have a paid version of Zoom, but for those that don't, and I think that's great, the Zoom decided to, let people, I know my son came up here and we had him for 4 days and did an early holiday, and it was only my children. And oh my gosh, what about that Chiefs game? You did watch it, right? Oh my goodness.
My husband did. My husband watched. I heard all the hoops and the hollers.
I am not a huge sports person, but when my children are all around and going to watch a game with me, by God, I am there, Like, oh yeah, I'm the mom. I'm definitely doing this. So anyway, but I was just going to say, his wife just turned 30 and they did dinner with her parents, right? Her birthday was in October, but they did it over Zoom. And I got the best thing from my son for Christmas. I know we did Christmas early.
What's that?
You all know I'm going to be a grandma in March, right? I'm a little bit excited, and I'm having a grandson, so I'm very excited. But more importantly, he bought me a tablet.
Oh,
So that we can FaceTime with the grandkid. I mean, not that I'm not going to go see the baby in March, and not that I'm not going to go babysit in May, because I am, and I got it on my list here. But the point is, right? They're 6.5 hours from us.
sure.
And now you can FaceTime. And so he's calling me tomorrow so that we can practice. And then my
Good.
husband's birthday's on the 5th of December. I know, right in the middle of all his chaos. So I'm sure he'll call his dad so we can practice. And then my son's birthday's January 19th. So I'm sure he'll call me then so we can practice,
Gotta
right?
keep practicing.
And
yes.
then the baby will come in March. But yeah, we'll have fun with those couple, right? With a couple of holidays that we have coming
But
up.
that's important. Even though it's a baby, the baby still makes those connections. I know my daughter used to. We didn't have the tablets. 13 years ago when my granddaughter was born, they lived across the state.
Mhm.
She would often call, and I would talk to the baby through the phone. So she still heard my voice. So those connections are very important. And it's important right now that we continue these connections
Yeah, and I'm
with our
excited.
family.
I'm excited about being connected with the baby, but I'm also thinking you do know your mom's probably going to FaceTime you more.
Definitely, yes.
I
We've got to keep those
I can
connections.
see my baby, who will be 32 in January, but he's still my baby,
Yes.
right? He's my oldest, but yes, my baby's actually 18, but yeah.
So I'm curious for our audience, how are you staying connected with your family during this time?
Or even your friends, right?
Even your friends. And if you cannot get together for Thanksgiving, how are you staying still connected with those around you? I'd love to hear how some of you are doing it. You know, for us, technology. But how are you guys doing it? That's curious. Have you gone ahead and decorated for Christmas yet?
I put up my what do you want to call it? We have our tree up. We don't have our outside up. And part of my inside. So there you go. I only did part, and that was when the kids were here that we sort of did that.
I went ahead and put mine up early last week. I was getting very discouraged and depressed. I had this huge 10-foot table, and nobody's been coming to it. I used to have people come over once a week for our small group. So I took the leaves out and made it smaller. And I thought, okay, well, now the room looks empty. So I went ahead and put up my Christmas decorations, but in my Christmas tree, not only did I put on the Christmas ornaments, I took some of my fall and autumn decor and I stuck it in the tree as well. I've decided, you know what? I can have joy and fall and thankfulness and gratitude. All of those can sit at the same table. So my table might have a Christmas decoration right next to a Thanksgiving turkey.
It is 2020, and I heard anything goes in 2020.
Anything goes this year. Yes.
It
Yes.
keeps being crazy and like a zoo, right? So I talked to a friend of mine that actually she gets together with a lot of her friends and does happy hour every Friday. And I thought
neat.
that's a great idea. I do know I've been to some happy hours on Zoom. And what I like about happy hour on Zoom is that you don't really have to even drink. You can just have your water, or you can have your coffee, or if you can drink if you want. It's a no judgment zone, right?
Sure.
We've actually done that some with our Toastmasters, right? Sometimes people will show up with a beer or a glass of wine to Toastmasters, where if we were really meeting in person, they probably wouldn't be able to do that.
Mm-hmm. Makes a difference. Now, I did read, okay, maybe it's going too far, but I did read somebody's meme once who said, you know, when you're on Zoom, if you blow into your wine that's in your cup, people think that you're drinking hot tea.
Oh, thanks for the tip. It's great. But mine says Jesus and coffee. So maybe it should be Jesus and coffee. But Jesus
Mine says tea in one hand, confidence in the other. And it is my London Fog latte tea.
That's the saying.
That's good stuff.
That's the saying that you stole from me. Don't even.
Well, yeah. So, you know, I stole it. What can I say?
But it was coffee. Coffee's much better. We could argue about coffee and tea. You have both.
Oh my gosh. What else are we thankful for? Let's see. I am thankful for family. Now, I am, it's discouraging not to get together with the whole big crowd. I miss the whole big crowd. But I have to say, I am enjoying the little smaller gatherings because I'm finding we're having more conversations in the smaller gathering.
That's even
than just the surface talk.
That's even true on Zoom, which sounds silly, but you can be a little bit more. I mean, I'd rather meet in person, just let's be honest, but I will have Zoom, then they have Outbreak, what is it called? Group, what is it called? Breakouts.
Oh, the breakout rooms? Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing when you're sitting there all of a sudden having a cup of coffee or water or whatever you guys are drinking, doesn't even matter. But I'm saying that you have a group of just 3 or 5 people and you really get to know them. So that I really enjoyed that. And then, yes, I told my husband, as much as I'm an extrovert, everybody says I have a get together at my house once a month. It's once every 6 weeks, not once a month. Okay.
It feels like once a month to him, huh?
Which is 20, 30 people. And I have not been doing that, period. Right. But like for my birthday, I had 12 people here, I think, at my house, which, like you said, seems like a lot. But for me, that's a smaller, group.
And you had a beautiful backyard for that, by the way.
Yeah. And I have a couple people that I've been able to have coffee with either on Zoom or in person. And by the way, I'm always up for meeting up for a cup of coffee. So anybody wants to meet up for a cup of coffee, right?
Me too. I agree.
I've had a couple of my clients that are single and stuck at home, and they're like, well, we'd be going to the movies. We'd be eating out. And I was like, well, okay. So I have a friend right now that is getting all his family together to watch Steelers game. I don't know why they're watching Steelers, but that's beyond that. My point is, the whole family is getting on Zoom and they're not getting together. And tomorrow, I guess stupid Steelers are playing. I don't know. Anyway, my point is they're watching this big game that's a big deal to them, and they're all doing it on Zoom. And the good thing, if you're doing Thanksgiving on Zoom this year, is you can invite aunt, whoever, or uncle, or people from other states that most of the time wouldn't be there. And have a get together that way. So I guess it's just being more creative. 2020 has taught us as entrepreneurs, business people, and just as people in general to be more creative, right?
I'll tell you something my granddaughter and I are doing. They live across the state. We both have a Wii system. Okay. We've got the old stuff, we don't have.
Oh, no, mine's broke. I want a new one. And I have
we both have a Wii system, and we both have we love to play the Star Wars Lego game.
So that's a lot.
So here's what we do. We do a video call with each other, and then we work together on the same, we'll both work the same level. And this way, we're still talking to each other. We're working on the level. And when I get stuck and say, I don't know how to get out of here, she can say, okay, Grandma, look at the screen, go over to the right, look for that. So she can get me out of there. So we're sharing a game and time together. And we're across the state.
See, and I was thinking you guys were playing each other, but she's just working.
No, we're not playing each other. We're each playing our own game, but we're playing the same level so that we can say, hey, don't forget to get that piece. Or were you able to get this?
Oh, that's funny.
So it's still a way to connect.
Well, and I've heard couples playing games over Zoom. So I'd like for other people to give us their ideas, and maybe if they could chat in the chat box. A couple times I've tried to, over on my KC Inspired Coffee with Sherry, I've tried to reply to comments. And if you see, I turn on the video and it's behind us. So that's what's happened twice. And I want to apologize for that, but I'm trying to respond to people. And I'm having.
I'll tell you another fun thing to do.
Figuring out how to do it.
Another fun thing. There is a website called triviamaker.com. Now, I've done this with my small group. And you can create your own Family Feud and your own Wheel of Fortune games.
What's that called again?
It's called triviamaker.com. And our small group has now played some Family Feud, and some Wheel of Fortune. And we have had a ball.
So I know with our toast, you and I belong to Toastmasters, and I know with the Toastmasters, we've had to figure out cameras and mics, and how sitting down and giving a speech is not as great as if people are standing up, and how to do our hand motions, and how to, you know, keep people engaged more. And that's been interesting too. So yeah, there you go. You put triviamaker.com. I love that idea. I'm not a real trivia person, but that sounds like fun. And like I said, happy hours on Fridays, you know, if you get your friends together and coffee with people and going to different networking groups. And yeah, there's Bible studies online, and there's there's a lot going on. So,
and I do understand it's not the same as being in person.
Oh no.
But it is still a connection. It's making the best of what you have.
But it isn't the same as being in person. But like I just said, you can talk to people. Well, you said your granddaughter, you guys are playing Wii. There's things that you wouldn't do otherwise. Last time we were in a lockdown back in March, my children were at my house a lot, and I had a lot of family time, which was, well, I have good kids, so I enjoyed hanging out with them. But sometimes, right, you're like, okay, they're around all the time, but that was a great time, you know, a great season and a great moment. I really, really think it'd be interesting, people journaling during this.
Yes.
So that later they can go back and see what happened. Because, I mean, this sounds bad to tell everybody, but we're living history right now, right? 2020 has been a lot of history, good, bad, or ugly, but it's been a lot of history. So we have a lot to be thankful for. And yeah, I can't believe tomorrow's already Thanksgiving. I think this year's went a little bit fast and a little bit slow all at the same time. It's been an interesting year. I don't know. Sometimes you're like, wow, I wish I could see my friends and let's get out of the pandemic. And other times you're like, what day of the week is it? And how are we almost into December? Right? So I think it's just a combination of both, right? Because we're waiting for things to change, but then we're trying to live in the moments. And I think everybody's in that, if that makes any sense. Everybody's in that. It's a limbo, right? It's been a limbo year.
It's a limbo.
But it's been a good time for training. I know I've done a lot of training. And like you said, reading, reflecting. And I know I've done a lot of that. And there's been a lot of people that have done a lot of free online training, which has been helpful. And I think that maybe one thing that 2020 should have taught people is that you don't need to do it all.
Oh, that's a good one.
And, you know, I'm a balance coach, and I'm always talking about life-work balance. But sometimes we try to do it all, right? And now I think our lives have slowed down, and we realize we don't have to do it all, right? You don't. I mean, everything that we were just running. Like, my car has gotten a lot of rest this year. The mileage on my car is much low. David wants to know if Streamline says something went wrong. Let me know if it worked anyway. And yes, David, we can see you. And
it worked. We see your name.
What are you thankful for, David? We'd love to hear from you. As the end of the year is coming to the end, we're just talking about tomorrow is thankful, thankful Thanksgiving, and we have a lot to be thankful for.
I am very, very thankful that my family has remained healthy, even though some members of the family have had COVID. They're healthy. They're past it. It's over now. That's, yes, they were sick. But right now, basically, everyone is healthy. And that's most important to me.
But the virus definitely was not fun for a couple of your friends.
It was not fun, no.
And that
was David, your health. Thank you very much. That's a big thing to be thankful for right now.
Yes. And I think that we need to stop taking our health for granted so much. I think we need to stop taking our family for granted so much. I think we need to stop taking our friends for granted in what we have, right? So I think people are going to have a lot more, hopefully people have learned to be a lot more appreciative, right? So I've spent a lot of time with my spouse, but not a lot of time with my spouse because he's worked a lot, and a lot of time with my kids, right? And people that you live with. And like I said, I'm blessed to have my dogs and my cat. And so, but to realize what a blessing that is, right? So.
Well, and that is a perfect thing, I think, for us to close on. Next week, we're going to talk about holiday stress.
Oh, yeah. We're going to go from Thanksgiving to holiday stress. There you go.
Wow. How's that for a jump? Yes.
But do come back. We want to talk about holiday stress, but we also want to come up with solutions for holiday stress.
Right. It's not just going to be what's stressing you. So think about this week. How do you deal with the stress of the month of December? And we will be back.
Is it going to be December next time?
Next time will be December. Can you believe it?
I know. Wow. Happy Thanksgiving. I wish everybody a healthy and happy Thanksgiving. And if everybody would reflect on what they're thankful this week, that would be great. And I will see you guys all next Wednesday.
Bye. Thanks for joining us.